but we're here to announce that Trackhouse Entertainment Group and Trackhouse Racing has purchased the NASCAR operation of Chip Ganassi Racing.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kicking Show, the official podcast of kickingthetires.net. Tonight, we are joined by Zach Tanzaretti, Seth Eggert, Justin Schuberot on the West Coast, and Mr. Christian Coley himself, who's going to kick off the show with a giveaway tonight. And we're going to make sure that some lucky, two fans can go to a race. What's up with this?
Two fans. So we've got 2 tickets thanks to Track Enterprises, who's putting on the race next weekend at Elko Speedway in Elko, Minnesota, not Nevada. We have 2 tickets thanks to Track. We have 2 tickets.
You thought I was crazy when I said which Elko?
I'd heard that before already this week. So, I mean, I really thought that might have been a reason. But no, but we have 2 tickets to give away for next week's Menards 250 at Elko Speedway in Elko, Minnesota. Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim will bring their championship battle to the short track in Minnesota. To announce also, we will have 7 more of these giveaways throughout the rest of the season, including races at Iowa, Milwaukee, Illinois. Any race that you can think of that's remaining on the ARCA schedule, except for a couple, we will have 2 tickets to give away each week. So be sure to stay tuned to my social media outlet and Kicking the Tires.
Wait, except for which one?
Except for a couple. I don't remember which ones we don't.
Oh, man.
It's just Track Enterprises.
Okay, I understand. Hey, I'm just happy we're giving away tickets and getting fans to the ARCA race.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal thanks to the Track Enterprise people. And, Track Enterprises also announced earlier this week that there'll be 4 dignitaries at Iowa. So you might want to make sure you get your tickets. They're going to be Mason Mitchell's one of the dignitaries are going to be signing autographs before the race. So you definitely want to make sure to get your tickets for Iowa if you can't win them before the race. So
I know a guy. They can call me.
Stay tuned.
They can call me. I know a guy.
Know a guy?
I know a guy.
Know a guy who?
I know a guy who's got tickets, or can get somebody some tickets.
Yeah.
And his name is Noah.
Oh.
Just kidding. I have no clue.
Christian's lost.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm about as lost as people thinking that Elko Speedway is in Elko, Nevada. We are not trying to give y'all away tickets to see a race in 150,000 degree temperatures.
So Christian has a new sponsor called Napa, and he's doing a new commercial replacing Michael Waltrip. I'm at the wrong track.
Yeah, we're really excited that Track Enterprises decided to give us 2 tickets to give away each week. That kind of promotes our ARCA program, which is nearing its 60,000 mark viewership. So that's a very big number for us to reach. So yeah, but stay tuned to my social media. My Twitter accounts where I'm mainly going to be giving them away. It's at Coley Christian. Make sure to just stay on that outlet or that profile, and we'll be giving away tickets. So, you might win. You never know.
And we'll be retweeting from Kicking the Tires, and I'll if I see it, I'll retweet it. If I see it, I'll say something.
And then Jerry should answer the question so that way he can have a chance to win too, and then he has no choice but to go.
Yeah, that'd be a big deal for Jerry Jordan to go to Elko, Minnesota.
Is that this weekend?
No, it's next weekend.
Next weekend.
We race at Irwindale this week. Actual ARCA West races at Irwindale before they take another month off.
Okay, well, I could Minnesota next weekend. I'm sorry, I can't even make the NASCAR race at Atlanta next week. That's going to be Mr. Tanzaretti himself and Matt Corson sitting in at the Atlanta race. So, Zach, what are your thoughts on going towards Atlanta? You've been up in Pocono, or you're still in Pocono actually, but you've been up in the northern part of the country.
Yeah, Pocono kicked ass. That was awesome. Just to see all those people there. I went to Pocono last year when it was completely dead for that doubleheader, and that was cool because that was my first time in the press box in the 2020 season. The other races I was out in my car, so it was a huge step up. But
sorry,
this year it's all good. I put that on myself. But I think with when we got there, it was just incredible to see that infield completely packed, which it's usually not that packed. It's usually a great fan zone area with a lot of families. They have just all these setups for kids, and your dogs, like with your parents, with the concerts. Like I just feel like everything's there. But this year it was literally sold out. Like you couldn't buy another foot of that place. Then the grandstands look great as well. And, you know, I feel like they put on some really good races, a lot of surprises. Everyone had Ty Gibbs win the ARCA race. We all had Kyle Busch Ty Gibbs to maybe win the Xfinity race, and then Kyle Larson to win both Cup races. And none of that happened. Kyle Busch didn't even win the truck race. Like, it was just full of surprises. And I feel like everyone left with big grins on their faces, and I was one of them.
You know who left with a big grin on their face after Pocono? I'm sure we'll get to it in a little bit when Seth breaks down the doubleheader NASCAR Cup Series weekend. It was a quintuple race weekend, but I'm pretty happy with coming away with keep maintaining the points lead. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I was doing well until Hamlin ran out on the last lap. I was like,
twice.
Bring it home. Nope.
Twice he had to come down pit road on the last lap.
3 times, actually, if you include the All-Star race.
That is true.
Well, yeah. Hey, Seth, what's going on over in the Truck Series before we go back to Zach and talk about the big news of the week?
Devin Rouse is going to make his Truck Series debut for Rayone Brothers Racing. Rouse is a dirt track racer. He runs sprint cars, modified lights. He's going to run at Knoxville Raceway. I believe it's next weekend in the Corn Belt 150 presented by Premier Chevy Dealers. That's a mouthful of a race name. But Rouse tested an ARCA car earlier this year for fast track racing at Daytona, becoming the first openly LGBTQ driver to test an ARCA car. If he qualifies for the truck race, because they will have heat racing for Knoxville, he will be just the second openly LGBTQ driver in Truck Series history, joining Steven Rhodes, who ran 2 truck races in 2003. Rouse tested a truck at Myrtle Beach Speedway in January of 2020. NASCAR had an open test there, apparently. Rayone Brothers Racing was there, Jennifer Joe Cobb Racing, and like 2 or 3 other teams. And it was mainly drivers who had never competed in the Truck Series, basically getting laps in the truck to get approval to be able to run the truck later on that year.
Can I give you some? I hate to interrupt you, but can I give you some updates on that? Actually, I know about that because I was starting to work with a driver and that was trying to make a run for it in the Truck Series again. But they were it was an open test. She kind of had to pay for it. It was kind of, remember when I guess it was Roush that did that round robin thing where they brought in a bunch of people and it was actually free. Well, this was one where all these lower budget truck teams got together and basically did a rent-a-ride to see who they could, who had the funding, who had the talent, who wasn't going to tear up their stuff. And there was, there's crash damage clauses and stuff like that all through it. But I was actually very familiar with that when it was going down last year.
Rouse was supposed to make his Truck Series debut last year at Eldora, but because of COVID, that race actually got realigned. Then he was supposed to make his debut at the Bristol Dirt Race earlier this year in the Truck Series, except the sponsorship fell through. He finally has sponsorship, thanks in part to Marcus Lemonis. I don't know which of his brands is going to be on the truck, whether it's Good Sam, Gander Outdoors, Camping World. He has so many brands, but one of his brands is going to be on the truck. I don't know whether it's going to be the 33 or 34 truck. Rayone Brothers did not announce which truck he would be in, but they did thank specifically Marcus Lemonis for all of the chances and all the opportunities that they've given drivers this year at Rayone Brothers Racing through the partnership with Marcus Lemonis. Just thinking back, Ryan Ellis, Akinori Ogata, there's like 5 or 6 drivers that have made starts with Rayone Brothers with sponsorship from Marcus Lemonis and his companies this year alone. And there's been 11 drivers in the Rayone trucks this year.
Well, I know that, they obviously trying to find full-time sponsorship, full-time driver type deal. But when you've got a truck, you can run around robin and make the numbers work with a pay to play. Why not do it? I mean, if I had a NASCAR Cup Series charter, I would do the same thing for at least for a year or two. But I mean, you can't. I don't see how the business model works that well in the truck series. It's kind of works okay in the Xfinity series because you're getting up into bigger money. And obviously, when you see those unfunded teams in NASCAR Cup Series, those without a charter, a lot of them are doing that round robin buy ride stuff, and that's so they can keep their doors open.
Well, kind of speaking on that also, I remember earlier this week, Dale Earnhardt Jr. posted on social media that it was going to be cheaper to run a Cup car than it was going to be to run an Xfinity car. So I thought that was kind of an interesting statistic with the new car coming out next year.
Yeah, and then he also followed that up too when he found out the charter was so much that he was like, no thanks.
He basically said he didn't want to buy into a money pit, if I'm using his exact words. But that was when everybody was thinking that the charges that are going to be available are going to be from one of two teams, and that Trackhouse was probably going to get them. But Zach, I think Trackhouse went a different way.
A big way. Oh my goodness. I mean, definitely knew that it was going to be a bigger announcement just when I saw the setup. But yeah, Trackhouse Racing has purchased Chip Ganassi Racing's entire NASCAR operation, transferring pretty much all the assets to Trackhouse for next year. I believe at the end of 2021, everything goes to them. And this is a huge move for one of NASCAR's newest and newest teams and youngest team owners as well. Justin Marks, I mean, came in brand new this year, and I feel like their number 99 with Suarez has definitely been more competitive than I kind of saw. I kind of put him and Bubba Wallace with 2311, kind of put them side by side to see who kind of has the upper edge, and I feel like the 99 has throughout the year, though the 23 is getting better. But yeah, I just feel like Justin kind of gave Chip a deal that he couldn't refuse. The money side, sure, but I mean, Chip said it was also the vision that Justin has for what he wants to do. I mean, the team wasn't for sale. Chip said that multiple times, but I mean, I know the lack of competitiveness in recent years. I mean, even if you look out throughout, Ganassi's run in NASCAR, it's certainly not what he's been doing in IndyCar. And IMSA, I mean, they only have one top 5 finish in the championship going way back in 2001, their first season. And any title potential that they had got ruined when Sterling Marlin got injured that following year. So maybe that killed something. I remember 2012, I think it was, they didn't even have a top 5 finish. And just going all the way to this year, I mean, Kurt's barely going to make the playoffs if he does. He's right on the bubble, and he only had one multi-win season in the last decade. So as I said, it's just not what Chip's been able to do in IndyCar. We know he loves winners. He has a lot of great talents, but some things just don't work out, and it's just been a tougher ride for Ganassi. And but for Trackhouse, they're going to be picking up, what they have to go along with what they've been building this year. And they're going to have 2 full-time cars next year. We know Suarez is going to be in one of them. Who's going to be that next guy? I'm not sure. I mean, I know Kurt and Chastain, Chip I think it was Justin who kind of brought out that they're going to be, in close communication with both of them. But I mean, we know we've heard Kurt about with Kurt Busch going to 2311 possibly. Where would that put Chastain for next year? I mean, we know he's already lost a ride to Ganassi in the past with the whole DC Solar situation in Xfinity. So I think Ross is getting better this year. So hopefully he doesn't get left out. But yeah, it was an incredible announcement, and obviously Ganassi is still continuing in motorsports for next year with IndyCar, IMSA, Extreme E, all that. But for NASCAR, no more Chip Ganassi Racing.
I think we kind of all knew that silly season was right around the corner. I don't think we realized it was going to be a nuclear bomb to kick it all off.
I think a better term, it's not silly season, it's holy season.
Well,
yeah, very much so.
I'll say this, because I got the press release, and I'm like, okay, I'm in Texas, it's in Charlotte. How can I make this happen? They weren't telling us what it was. I was on the phone with Jim Utter, actually, at the time that the press release came out. Then I get a follow-up, and then I follow up with Drew from Trackhouse, the PR guy, and I'm like, how big is this? And he's like, it's pretty big. You need to be there. I'm like, I need to be there, you know, I'll fly up. But I was able, kudos to Louis Frank, who went to the press conference for us and covered it on site, got some great information, asked some good questions. And so I got to give a shout out to Louis Frank for his special report for Kicking the Tires, because it was going to be a nightmare for me to make it from Texas to Charlotte to cover the event. I could do it. I was working on plane tickets, but the weather was kind of funky looking, and you know, getting out of Houston, getting into Charlotte with thunderstorms and things of that nature, you know, here and in between, it was just going to be really hard. And I didn't have a clue what I was going into. Had no clue. They would not leak anything. They played this so close to the vest, okay? And I heard Justin say, yeah, we were working on this in April. Well, I was at Nashville, and I asked Justin about the charter situation, if he was upset about the colleague deals and all that. And he's like, no, we'll be okay. You know, there's other stuff out there. Who in their right mind would have thought that, hey, Chip, why don't I just buy all your stuff? Okay.
And Chip Ganassi, too, of all people. I mean, he's been in the sport for over 20 years. So it's not like he's buying some team that's been around for 5-6 years.
Well, if you were watching the post announcement press Zoom, I asked a question because I know something, and I hadn't reported it. I don't know why I hadn't reported it, other than wasn't that big of a news deal. Chip Ganassi has a partner named Rob Kaufman. Rob Kaufman used to be a co-owner at Michael Waltrip Racing. Rob Kaufman has ARCA Motors, which is like some really fine, you know, automobiles in Charlotte. And he has a bunch of other investments and things like that. Rob Kaufman actually owns the land in the shop where Chip Ganassi Racing is. In the 2019, pre-COVID, Rob bought the property. So Chip was basically paying the lease to have the shop and all that there, and part of the partnership deal, I'm sure. So in the Zoom, I asked, hey, what is the situation after 2021 or after 2022? Because they're wanting to go to Nashville and have Trackhouse. I mean, he said in Nashville, he wants his shop to be in Nashville. So basically the message that Chip put out was they've got the lease through 2022 going to 2023. And after that, you know, that's their deal. So I'm pretty confident that Trackhouse is only going to be, you know, over on what road is that runs on Dorita Road, and that runs right, we're in front of the NASCAR R&D Center, and they're only going to be there for a year, and you'll see next year major work going on in Nashville to get their shop in that Nashville area.
So here's a couple things to think about. One, we're going to the next gen car next year. So you got Trackhouse buying all of this equipment that's really going to be obsolete right at the start of the year. And the second part too, and Seth, you kind of helped confirm this with me too, but the charter system that Trackhouse purchased with CGR, they were renting the current charter that they're using for the 99 car with Daniel Suarez. They're renting that from Spire. So when they purchased CGR, they're not going from 1 to 3 cars. They're giving up that rental charter from Spire and going to a 2-car team with the 2 charters that they purchased with kind of this package deal. So that's why there's that issue of, okay, well, one of these 3 drivers is out, and obviously we know it's not Suarez. So
that's because you can only lease a charter for 1 year, and then it's got to go back to the, you know,
because that's what Joe Falk has been doing with the 33 charter. That was way back when the charter system first began. One of the cool things I thought about the whole announcement with the Trackhouse deal was the fact that Trackhouse's general manager is Ty Norris, who used to be the right-hand man to Dale Earnhardt, as he talked in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. download. but was also very big with DEI until him and Teresa had a fallout in 2004. So the cool thing about that is that technically Ty Norris is kind of now part of DEI again, because Chip Ganassi Racing purchased DEI a long time ago. And so I kind of thought that was a weird circle of life. And kind of speaking on a circle of life, there's a lot of life out here in Nashville, because I live about 30 minutes from Nashville and Lebanon. And I know just yesterday, they announced that they were going to build 7 new complexes on the facility of on the property surrounding Nashville Super Speedway. So, with that many buildings built all around here, I don't think it's going to be very hard for Justin Marks and his team to find a race shop out here.
I was going to say Pipple's going to have a concert, one of those, I'm sure.
Well, Pipple's going to have a concert in Charlotte October 9th, which is 2 days after my birthday, and I'll be 50, and I'm going to go to the concert. Oh, I'm sorry. That was totally different off the wall.
And I guess I have one more question about the whole Trackhouse buying out Chip Ganassi Racing. I wonder if they're going to inherit a lot of the sponsors from Chip Ganassi that might be signed through 2022 or beyond, because that in and of itself is enough for about 1.5 to 2 cars, plus all of what Trackhouse has already.
Well, and not only the sponsors, but the affiliations too, right? You got Trackhouse that already had an affiliation with Richard Childress, and then Ganassi had an affiliation with Hendricks. So, which one is Trackhouse going to take over?
As Justin said, he's got a lot of things he's got to get in there and study. I want to give you a breakdown of a couple of things that you guys may not be aware of. Y'all all know who Kelly Crandall is. Good friend of mine. She's a writer at Racer Magazine, Racer Online, and she has got a really good chart that she shares with a few of us. And so the chart breaks down the charters, and the charters are not based on car numbers. Just in case y'all are wondering, charters go 1 to 36. Oh, and by the way, NASCAR has 4 charters that they're reserving for a new manufacturer when they come into the sport, and I'll get to that in just a second. The number 15 and number 16 charter are assigned to the 1 and the 42 of Chip Ganassi Racing. The number 25 charter, I believe. Yeah, the number 25 charter is assigned to the 99 car, but it's Aspire Motorsports owned charter. So that's where that scenario comes in. Aspire, obviously, going to run that. Since they sold their other charters, you're probably going to move their number 25 charter that's on the number 99 over to the 7 car for LaJoy. So when the number 1 charter, it used to not be this way. Rick Ware and Richard Petty have a partnership on the number 2 charter, but they flipped because Rick Ware used to have the number 1 charter for a short period of time, I think 1 year. But now it shows that it's back to being owned or used by Richard Petty. So what these guys were doing is they were getting a charter, leasing it out for a year, taking it back, running it on their property, because you can only lease out a charter so much. But if you want to know what charter each car has, I have a pretty damn good list that Kelly put together here. So it's going to be quite interesting. So. Go ahead.
Just for what Spire sold, they sold the one they're leasing to Trackhouse, and they sold the 77 charter.
Okay, so they sold
7 charter.
So they sold the number 25 charter, and then they sold the number 29 charter, and they're going to keep the number 34 charter. Okay.
Yes, I believe that's the scenario. Yeah.
Okay, the 34 charter is assigned to the 7 car.
Yeah.
So I guess so Justin basically had no choice, because his charter he wasn't going to give it back. It was sold. It's done.
Yeah.
So and that was what the hubbub was in NASCAR and in Nashville. What was he going to do? Well, he wasn't worried. Now we know why, because he just went in and said, "Hey, Chip, here's a check."
Made an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
I guess Chip likes money, not just winners.
He likes winning money.
You reflect on 20 years of being in a particular business, in a particular sport, and there's good things and bad things when you look back on all of it. And but I'd say it was generally a positive thing. I felt best about what Justin was saying about our team and our people going forward, and that's important to us. And so I think that made it a little more palatable. Sure.
Well, there you have it, Chip Ganassi. Giving you the reason why he decided to sell his team. Like I said, color me shocked. I was totally caught off guard. So, but you'll have that in big time auto racing. Hey, Justin, what's going on over in the SRX world? I think my buddy may have taken another checker flag.
Yeah, with some controversial yellow flags. Not really sure what those were. No, I'll call it as it is. I did not see a reason to throw a yellow flag, but it was still a fun race. So much fun to watch him battle with Swanson there. A ton of fun, and that's the second time Stewart's grabbed the checkered flag. Both of them being on the dirt races at Knoxville and Eldora. But also, too, the dirt ringers finishing right behind him. Haley Deegan finishing second out at Knoxville, and this time Swanson finishing right behind him here at Eldora. So super fun. But I'll tell you what, you would think Tony Stewart was the light of the show kind of thing, but goodness gracious, Paul Tracy and Bobby Labonte getting into it and tearing up a few of the SRX cars. I'm sure that definitely gave some work over back at the shop for some of the guys. But yeah, Bobby wasn't too happy with that. He's a little bit better now, but on that Zoom call, he says he wouldn't mind giving him a little nudge right back. So we'll see what happens halfway through this season. So, but the other cool thing, here's the crazy part. So I've mentioned this before on the show. Stafford, the season opener, had 1.3 million viewers. Then you have Knoxville, which had 1.25 million viewers. And then Eldora topped both of them with almost 1.4 million viewers. And Saturday night's race was 1 point higher TV rating than NASCAR's Saturday race. I think, yeah. Whoever's in charge of marketing over there needs a massive bonus, because I don't think anyone saw this coming. I've said that all 3 episodes, and I will continue to say it, because if you can look me straight in the eyes and say, oh yeah, I saw SRX starting to beat NASCAR by their 3rd race, I would tell you that you're a liar and to go away.
Okay, so hold on a second. Hold on. I will say this. They are set for 6 races on CBS main network. Okay, they do have that in their favor. Okay, so you've got to give them that aspect. NBC is running the Xfinity race on the Little Bird. Okay, and Fox is running the on the FS1 or whatever channel that is, and even the NASCAR Cup Series is running on Little Bird. It's running on NBCSN. So, and Zach might be able to give us some insight there, because Zach knows all about the TV and how that works, being that he has worked over there.
Well, my question, did that include streaming, or was just CBS Saturday night on TV?
I don't know.
It was preliminary numbers, so I don't believe it includes streaming.
Okay. So I know it's on Paramount Plus, which just launched. They've been kind of helping that kind of start up. That's how I've been watching it, because I don't get CBS with my Spectrum in North Carolina.
I didn't know that.
No, you didn't.
Cool. I learned that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because CBS and Spectrum are in a war with one another or something.
Yeah, I just found that out. I was looking at that. I'm like, damn it, I got to get Paramount Plus now.
Kind of like Dish. Dish was up against one of the other big networks too. What was it, NBC?
And DirecTV up against Fox at one point. So it happens to every station at one point or another.
So racing fans were screwed one way or another. It didn't matter who you went with.
Yeah.
If you went with Xfinity, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Xfinity Series, I don't think you'd have any issues.
Well, here's the issue. Here's the thing, the way this works. Okay, so there's 5 of us on this call. Okay, we all probably have different satellite or cable providers. I have Dish Network. Zach has Spectrum. I don't know what you guys.
DirecTV,
Xfinity. So, and I don't know what they have out in California. So,
whatever Gavin Newsom lets us watch.
Yeah. So here's each one of us in our bill, 5 cents, 25 cents, whatever it is, goes to those networks. And it's those user fees that they argue over, and whether it's going to be a penny, a nickel, or whatever. And that's why they'll, with all the streaming and everything, it's like you don't really need cable or satellite anymore, because you can do it with internet based. So the cable networks and the satellite networks are like, well, we want our money, and the networks, the actual program content generators and not the distributors, they're like, you know what, we'll give you this, or we'll just put it on streaming. And that's where the war's at, and that's why you're seeing more and more Paramounts, HBO Plus. I have NBC Tracks, Gold Pass.
I do.
Yeah,
that's how I watch the ARCA races.
Yeah, so I have like, I don't know, Hulu, and I probably spend $50 a month on TV stuff that I don't use all the time. But then I've got like Tubi and some of the other
free stuff.
Yeah, there's free.
Got to watch a 30-minute ad or a 30-second ad, and that's it.
30-minute ad.
Not 30-minute ad, but
watch all of the NASCAR ads first, then you can watch the whole race ad free.
You know what? I'd be okay with that. Give me all the ads first, and then start the race.
Well, yeah. So you're saying
you offered it that way.
That's essentially, to a certain point, how F1 does it on ESPN. You have almost an hour and a half of interviews and commercials, and then the entire race is commercial free.
And you get to watch a boring race. And
I'm not saying anything about that.
I saw the camera go to Justin, so when the F1 calls, they'll blame it on him.
What? Whatever. I really don't care anymore. They can do stuff.
Team orders, man. Team orders. It's big in F1.
But yeah, no, SRX, man, I'm telling you what, they're doing a fantastic job over there. The races are super exciting. They're a ton of fun to watch. They're getting the right people in those cars. I'm still going to say it. I still want to see Jimmy Spencer in one of those cars. I still want to see if they can get some of the guys from the early 2000s, kind of like a Bobby Labonte, like they have now. But I'd love to see a Jeremy Mayfield in one of those cars. I'd like to see some more open wheels. I'd like to see a couple World of Outlaws guys as well. I'd like to see some more of that. And then if this continues on, which I'm assuming it will into next year, I'd love to see them at a road course. I'd love to see them find one of the very few dirt road courses that's out there. I think that would be something so unique. But yeah, this series,
you know who should run one of those if they can get the schedules worked out. Ron Capps.
Oh gosh, yes.
He did a prelude.
Yeah.
iRock too at one time. I can't remember. Somebody in HROA was.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys know, but Johnny Benson has been the pace car driver for all these races. So they've got some really cool old school guys who are just absolutely love the sport of racing and all that stuff. So yeah, SRX is doing great. They're doing a fantastic job. Looking forward to the second half of the season. Obviously, Stewart with both of his wins is leading the points. So, but with how easy it is to get and lose points, that can change literally next race. So
Paul Tracy.
Yeah, and Paul Tracy too. I think he's the only one beating Bill Elliott right now, because I feel so bad for Bill Elliott. He had 2 issues with fuel injection, with the whole fuel injection system for the first 2 races, and then this race he finally gets a car that's running and then just gets caught up in the crash. So absolute bummer for him, but hopefully he'll be able to put on a show here soon. Yeah, and then the other thing too, as I mentioned on last episode, where Cooper Webb is being nominated and going for an ESPY, be sure to check out kickinthetires.net to find that link to go vote for him. You can also vote for the best driver, and Chase Elliott is up against a few others in that category. So you got one NASCAR driver, and then Cooper Webb up for best male action sports athlete for the ESPYs. So go get them in there. And then best overall athlete, we do have one racer from Formula One, obviously.
No.
Lewis Hamilton. So
no. Vote no.
Vote no on who?
On Hamilton.
Oh, well, yeah, because when you have a computer driving your car. Did I say that?
You know what? He lost last week, and I was happy.
He actually hasn't won a lot this year. Verstappen has been the one on
Max is
the roll.
awesome. Max is a great guy.
Oh, he's so hilarious. I've never gotten to meet him in person, but I would love to. I'd love to meet him in person and interview him. He seems like someone that's super fun to be around. But yeah, so that's up with that. I do have a new article because I did an exclusive interview with Cooper Webb. So he gave me some thoughts as well. One cool stat with all of that is that KTM, which is the manufacturer of the bike that he rides and races. KTM is going for their third ESPY. The only other manufacturer that has an ESPY is Suzuki, and they've only got one back in 2007 with Travis Pastrana. So not only are they looking to extend their lead with their 2 ESPYs that they have with Ryan Dungey, up to 3 here with Cooper Webb, but no other manufacturer has an ESPY. So aside from Suzuki. So KTM absolutely dominating the field right now when it comes to 2-wheel racing. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. They're doing that.
That's what's happening in iRacing real quick. And before we break down the Pocono recap points and pick drivers for this weekend, and then I might have a few rumors that we're going to talk about.
Well, first off, iRacing moved from being a licensee to being the official simulation partner of NASCAR earlier this week, which that will basically the relationship is a little bit closer, helping design cars, tracks, which we've seen with the Chicago Street Course, the next gen car. But in racing this week, Mitchell DeYoung once again dominated the road course. He led all but 2 laps. Graham Boland during green flag pit stops narrowly beat him on and off of pit road, but DeYoung basically was 7 seconds ahead of field the rest of the race. Immediately after checkered flag, he ran out of fuel, had to get pushed back to the start-finish line to celebrate by his good friend Bobby Zielinski. But the biggest race of the week was the Firecracker 400. That's Landon Castle and Parker Clearman, their deal with E-Racer. Nick Ottinger won the pole, attempted to take the last to first challenge to win $20,000. With 5 to go, he was inside the top 10, got caught up in a wreck. Dale Earnhardt Jr. started dead last, though, or was scheduled to start dead last. He, on the final restart, he was 16th, was inside the top 5, and I'll let you watch the video replay of what happened next.
Here comes Michael Conti, down low, Kerner throws a block, gets turned, Michael Conti gets turned as well, and a wreck it in 3. Here comes Michael Cozy Jr. out of turn 4. Michael Cozy Jr.'s got the lead. It's going to be McAnally and Earnhardt Jr. But out of turn 4, out of Hagerstown, Maryland, Michael Cozy Jr. is going to win the Firecracker 400. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so as you saw, Michael Cozy Jr. somehow got through the wreck, won the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 4th. In that wreck, you had Michael Conti, you had Eddie Kerner, and it looked a lot like the wreck between Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski on the last lap of the Daytona 500 earlier this year. But Cozy wins $2,000.
You mean the divorce wreck?
Oh no, too soon.
I guess you can call it that, but Cozy walks away with $2,000. Last year's winner and friend of Kicking the Tires, we've been on his car before, Brandon Cattell, he he had the best car to race, arguably. He was slicing through the field, taking the lead often, got caught up in the wreck with 15 laps to go after leading a race high 32 laps. 430 drivers, including myself, attempted to make the Firecracker 400 this year. I, along with Kyle Busch, failed to qualify for the Firecracker 400.
I didn't try. Hey, I got a question, and it's going to throw you completely off, but are we still sponsoring For the Fans?
Yes, we are.
When have we had a route? I haven't kept up with their schedule, so I need to find out. Maybe I can race this weekend.
Well,
I mean, we need to tell people when they can go race in a Kick in the Tire sponsored race. We're one of the only outlets in NASCAR media that's actually sponsoring iRacing content. We're sponsoring cars on the track. We're sponsoring drivers. We're the official motorsports partner of Brandon Built Motorsports. And before you get that information, Seth, I want Zach to tell us real quick about Brandon Built, because they've got a new sponsor this week, and we need to let the folks know that our friends over at Brandon Built Motorsports, they're getting it done.
They are, yes. It's been a heck of a year so far. Brandon's on his career best season so far with 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s. But to make the playoffs, he's going to need a little bit of help. And Sim Seats is jumping on board of the 68. It's been a tough week for the team, but they were able to pick up a sponsor for this weekend at Road America. I spoke to Brandon earlier today for 10, 15 minutes on a Zoom call, and we're going to have all that information out in the morning, it looks like, on Friday, so just in time for the big weekend. But yeah, with Sim Seats, I mean, they were able to give him a good simulator seat, and we know how important esports is and just how drivers are using it on just a weekly, if not a daily basis to prepare for each race that's coming up, especially road courses and a fairly new track for at least the Cup drivers this weekend. So yeah, Sim Seats on board, and yeah, he's really looking forward to this weekend in his number 68 Brandon Built Motorsports Chevrolet.
Awesome. Good to see them bringing on some new sponsors and getting people involved. And look, I really do want to get a diecast made and see what we can do. Still looking into that. I think it would be really cool of the Kick in the Tires logo on the hood. That car looks amazing at Nashville, and so maybe we can do that. Maybe we can even get our friends at iRacing to put that paint scheme in their computer, Seth. How about that?
I'm still trying to get their attention, but at least for the Fans, FTF, Justin Melillo's league, we have 3 more races that we are sponsoring. The Indianapolis Road Course in a few weeks, the Daytona Legacy Track, that's what Firecracker used. It's the old bumpy Daytona, and then the season finale at the end of the year at Phoenix.
Woohoo!
Are there any races that are up for sponsorship grabs, or are they all taken?
Looking at their schedule right now, they have 4 races that are still up for grabs. Road America this weekend, Rockingham next weekend, or next race. Next weekend. Then you have the regular season finale, I think it is. I don't know if they're doing the playoffs, but the way
call Malalo and tell him we'll take them.
Yeah, Richmond and Talladega.
Call Malalo, tell him I'll take them.
Will do.
I was gonna take them with something.
What do you want them for?
The Elko ticket giveaway, $250.
No, veto. Actually, you know what?
Yes!
You know what? Wait, no,
yes. Okay, Jerry.
Wait.
Jerry, you can. Okay, you can have You're gonna take Road America this weekend, and you have to name the race the Elko ticket giveaway, whatever number.
180. 180.
I'll do it.
Better yet, ask them if they'll add an extra lap to the race.
Kick in the Tires Elko ticket giveaway.
Do 182, so they have to do an extra 2 kilometers,
4
miles or whatever.
I think it's 180, which it's 180 miles, which because Road America is a 4-mile track.
It's a 4-mile track.
Then they have to add one lap.
So anyway,
add one lap to the race.
Find out how much it's going to cost me.
I will.
And Thelma and Layla, we're in for this weekend, if we can call it the Kicking the Tires Elko ticket giveaway, Elko ARCA ticket giveaway. We'll go that route, and then find out what the bill would be for the rest of the races, and we'll work something out. Surely it can't be that much money.
I'm texting him now, and I'll let you know what he says.
Awesome. So moving on, Pocono recap. Hey,
Did we just hold on? Did we just talk about starting up this whole new Bushy McBush Race 400 again?
We're not doing that. Pocono recap. Who had the best weekend?
Well, arguably the person who had the best weekend, based on the points.
Go to group shots here. Yeah, hit the keyboard. Go to group shots.
Based on the points, was actually Justin.
Yeah, that's why I was celebrating early, because I know how to math.
However, a very close second and a very close third was Jerry and myself.
So the rest of you slackers.
The distance. I was probably like 6th or 7th, actually.
Didn't
I win
a race?
You won, but Justin scored more points.
More points in both races, I think, right?
No, you scored the same points in Sunday.
Oh,
yeah. But I won the race.
So?
That's
That's a playoff point.
That's a playoff point, buddy.
You win at Pocono. Who wants to win at Pocono?
Everybody. You know why?
Chris Buescher.
Because it's playoff points.
Sure. But you, out of the, let's see.
I was worried on Sunday.
All of us were.
You were at least 7th or better. You were at least 7th or better, Zach, because Matt and Summer did not send me any picks, and you at least scored. Let's see.
He had to do better than Eric Jones.
Oof. Actually, Zach, I might have some bad news for you. You scored 52 points for the 2 days combined.
Ouch.
Matt and Summer, without picking, scored 56 points for the 2 days.
Wow.
God damn, I'm just not going to pick today. That was terrible on Saturday. And then Denny Hamlin ran out of fuel. Well, I had him pick the win on Sunday, and he ran out of fuel.
Well, I will say this on DraftKings. Denny running out of fuel actually made me go from earning $0 to winning $4.
This is fun.
You know where I win money out on DraftKings? Talladega. I've hit the winner on the DraftKings Talladega like 3 times, and I'm talking like $250, $500. I've hit big on DraftKings when I'm picking only for Talladega. For some reason, if you pick all the back markers, you let all the guys up front wreck, it works.
Well, Nashville, I won $47.
Woohoo!
And I forget why. I think it might have been because of Chase's DQ, honestly, because that changed some things in some of the DraftKings leagues. I know that.
Whenever you win the lottery in California, the number of dollars that you win is actually what you have to pay in taxes.
Yeah, you're probably, I had to believe that. I will say this. I may or may not have picked the winner in the season opener Xfinity race, the season opener truck race, and the season opener cup race. I may or may not have done that.
Anyway, going on the points for us, Jerry,
on a real gambling site.
Jerry, you're still leading the points.
Yes.
With 652. However, Justin closed in by 7 points and is now 14 behind.
And I picked last this week.
I am in third with 626. Then you have Rachel with 604, Sarah with 603, and Zach with 602.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty close battle there.
Behind Zach behind Zach, you have Summer with 579, Christian with 574, and Matt with 510.
Well, he gets the prize from last car.
No.
And mind you, Matt has only picked twice all season.
He's still not that far back. Okay, so let's break down the quintuple weekend really, really quick and go with the winners because we need to make our picks for this week, and I've got a couple of rumors too.
Well, let's start with the ARCA race. Like we said earlier, we all thought Ty Gibbs was going to win, and then maybe a missed time block or a bad block. I'm not sure how you want to word it, but a block and some contact with Chandler Smith basically gave Corey Heim the win.
And a tire rub on the number 18 of Ty Gibbs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if Ty had just been more patient, and because I've seen that with a lot of people at the tracks, especially working at the tracks that I do. Like you find that with the younger blood, they don't want someone to pass them even though there's like 10 laps to go or whatever. And so at that point, Ty should have just known, okay, he's there, just let him go and we'll battle it out. Instead, he ended up ruining both their races, and he totally had a shot to win it. So,
and Ty Gibbs does not go to Elko with the points lead. Corey Heim does, which is really surprising, as I denoted, and something I've been working on this week. It's just we're going to Elko next week with a pretty interesting points battle because I honestly thought Pocono was going to be where Ty Gibbs was going to basically clinch the championship. Because
you can go to Elko too.
Yeah, you can go to Elko too if you answer my question on my Twitter account. 2 free tickets, 2 free. If anybody wants them. I think they're good seats. I don't know. I hadn't heard where they're sitting. But no, it was a really good race at Pocono. As I kind of spoke a lot this week, I felt like it was the race that really put ARCA on that national level that it's really been lacking lately. And, with 3 drivers, man, we really had 4 of the hottest prospects in NASCAR in the ARCA race with Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith, Ty Gibbs, and Corey Heim. And, I really think they put on a good show.
Kennedy.
Well, it was
trucks.
It was trucks next, and it basically was a battle between Kyle Busch and John Hunter Nemechek, and John Hunter came out on top with a little bit of help. If it wasn't for Sheldon Creed breaking loose and almost wrecking himself and Kyle Busch with what was it, about 2.5 to go. It basically gave John Hunter the win at that point because the momentum that they lost, there was no way they were going to be able to catch John Hunter. And John Hunter's been a pleasant surprise this year with how well he's run in general.
We always knew John Hunter had talent. But he didn't have funding, and he was able to get a deal with Toyota and Kyle Busch, and he's running for a championship. So he needed a job. Obviously, he's got a young family, a young wife, and a little baby. So he took the smart road. He's like, you know what? I'll take the step back. I'll prove to y'all that I'm a winner. We all knew he was, and I'll work my way back up because. Or you know what? He could do a Matt Crafton and stay in the truck series for the rest of his life and make good money. It doesn't really matter. So it's he'll be fine just exactly where he's at. So I'm proud of John Hunter for he's grown up a lot. He's definitely honed his talent and he's doing really well in those KBM trucks.
And he's having so much fun too. I mean, you see him whenever he's posting on Twitter or Instagram. Even Taylor too, his wife, whenever they're posting on Instagram, they're having such a blast. So. Usually when you think of big steps back like that, it's kind of like, oh, here we go again, and not at all here. It's so cool to see him be super happy like that.
Yeah, he only brought $1 million to that team. Yeah, and Kyle Busch, he was really the guy who kind of talked him into it. He's like, John, okay, you can either run 25th or 30th on Sunday, or you can come down and run for a championship and win every week. And Kyle's eating his words because he's beating him a lot this year. They're 1-2 basically every time they run, and John, I believe he only has 5 wins this year, so he's going to be pretty unstoppable. I mean, he's got some competition there, but he's showing what he's worth. That's for sure.
I did get a message back from Malillo. He's double checking, but they have actually sold those 4 races. They just haven't come up with a race name for those 4 races for the person who bought those races.
Okay. Well, I understand. We can't do the Kicking the Tires ARCA ticket giveaway race.
Who knows? Maybe I'll host one this weekend and name it that.
You know what? If you host one, I'll race in it.
Oh gosh.
Too bad Elko's not on iRacing, because then we could really have some fun with it.
Can we race somewhere like Elko?
Well, Elko's kind of like that USA Speedway.
Yeah, that's the only one that comes to mind.
Then what would we race there? Indy cars?
No.
Stadium trucks.
No, I hate stadium trucks.
Oh, I love those.
I was going to say we could run the old Gen 4 ARCA cars.
That would be interesting.
Ooh, those things handle terribly.
Is it a dirt or is it an asphalt?
It's asphalt.
Asphalt. Okay, I would do ARCA. I would do ARCA there. If that would be fun. So, but yeah, if you do it and I'm home, I'll be happy to race in it. And if I race in it, that means I'm probably giving something away in addition to Elko tickets. In addition to 2 Elko tickets, I gotta if you win the race, you get the Elko tickets. If you come in second, you get $100.
I was gonna say that was my idea. Give the tickets to the race winner.
You see everyone coming out of the last corner and they stop. Do you remember how we did the old trickery with the qualifying and cup when it was timed like that? Like, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. Oh my gosh.
Kirsten. Do you want to go to Elko this weekend? How much is a flight?
Yeah. I'm going to Iowa in a few weeks. It's going to be a long drive, so.
Okay. Well, be careful going to Iowa. We could send you to Elko.
If I wasn't working a race and had my mom's birthday, I'd probably take you on that offer.
Okay, so recap. Trucks was the unexpected expected. Now Xfinity, and then we have a doubleheader. Cup.
No, it was Cup, and then it was Xfinity Cup.
Well, you can't do it that way. You gotta go the right way.
I know.
That way I can make fun of Justin.
Well, for Xfinity, we all thought Ty Gibbs was gonna win.
I didn't think.
I didn't.
Well, a lot of us did. How about that? A lot of us did.
I didn't. So,
but
I who I picked, but I didn't think it was him.
Austin Cindric walked away with the victory.
I remember who won, but what? By the way, just for the record, Johnny Sauter has the worst luck of any man on earth right now.
Stop picking him.
I think I'm going to. Feel bad for him.
I'm not picking him anymore.
Matt Crafton can sum up his season.
Yeah.
That one made radio communication from Charlotte.
Well, what I was going to say is don't pick Johnny Sauter this weekend because trucks aren't running.
That's right.
Well, he has a good chance then. The same opportunity as everybody else.
Well, watch.
He's the only guy on the track.
Well, no, watch. He'll pick him for a truck race that isn't happening, and Johnny will have some bad luck in the late model races running.
Yeah, Monday you're going to hear a report. Johnny Sutton, number 13, has a monetary fine for 1 loose lug nut. Or 2 loose lug nuts, I mean.
Wow.
But sorry, Johnny, we're just poking fun.
Well, I know that Jess was happy. That Austin's PR girl, she was thrilled that Austin Cindric won because I saw her Snapchat. So,
but also I do want to say, happy that both Justin Haley and Ryan Vargas are okay after that hard crash.
Yes,
it knocked the wind out of Justin, and Vargas was very emotional in victory in the care center. He was writing a tribute to his car chief who passed away a couple weeks ago. So he was hoping for a good run. And with the point situation that JD Motorsports is in, he's actually not running this weekend at Road America. They're putting Spencer Pompelli in the number 6 because there is qualifying as well. So that way the 6 is almost, or it's not guaranteed, but it'll at least have a much better chance at making the field.
Well, my thing, I sent him a text and I hadn't heard back from him. So I haven't heard any updates other than, I saw the Care Center update. So I was hoping he was okay.
I think he's been doing a little bit of soul searching because he was scheduled to run the Firecracker 200 on iRacing for E-Racer, and he didn't show up for that. And where he got the news he wasn't running this weekend, I think he's been doing a lot of soul searching. I know Blake Cook reached out to him after the news that he wasn't going to be able to run this weekend, and I know some others have reached out as well. So hopefully things turn around. He gets maybe a more stable sponsor or something. He's just had horrible luck with mechanical issues this year. And then as far as wrecks, it's basically been either he's losing brakes, which causes a wreck, or the wreck happens in front of him in such a way that he has no time to react.
Right. So
yeah, and then Justin Haley too with that hard hit. Justin Allgaier actually subbed for him in the Cup race.
You know who else had a hard hit?
Kyle Larson.
Yeah, Kyle Larson had a hard hit. Man, I felt bad because even though he was beating my driver that I picked, I was like, man, going to the checker flag when you blow a tire that hit the wall. Wow.
And that's twice. We've seen that happen this year. It's almost rare that we see like some mechanical issue happen on the last lap. But to have it happen twice in 1 year with Noah Gragson back at Homestead, wow. Well, I mean, so Gragson wasn't a mechanical issue on his car, but obviously he just got caught up on a wreck coming to the white flag. Just
got starred.
Whoa. Wow.
Ooh.
Got starred.
But it was a left front tire that popped on Larson's car, although he said it was the right front. Whether or not he had to have run over debris or had some sort of contact earlier that maybe damaged the tire, that by the time he was entering turn 3, it finally gave way. But
he had that epic run. I mean, they were side by side. I tweeted, I was like, this is probably the best battle for the lead we've had all year.
Yeah.
And so they were putting some pressure on those tires and really going at it. So, I'm not surprised it happened, but I was like, ouch. Man,
the only other thing that I can think of is if something got caught up and clogged into the vent for the left front for the brakes.
Which could have happened because there was a lot of trash.
Well, and if you look to where the smoke came from, it came from the inside of the tire. So I don't know if that may have caused it. I doubt it, but I'm just, it's just speculation at this point, obviously.
Although I do want to point one other thing out. This is the second time that the last lead change for one of Bowman's wins happened that he was taking the lead from Larson.
Ooh.
The other time was Chicagoland a few years ago.
Right.
His first win.
Yep.
There you go. So,
where's Chicagoland?
It's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I think the track is there.
Elko's still there though.
Yes, we know.
But that was the Saturday race. The Sunday race, let's see. Kyle Busch is stuck in fourth gear, burns up the clutch on the final pit stop leaving pit road. And on fuel mileage, it goes and takes the checkered flag.
And wins the race with burnout clutch, stuck in fourth gear, trouble on takeoff. Kyle Busch is the man.
And it was stuck in fourth gear because he ran over a piece of debris and a metal shaving got stuck in the transmission gear.
How did it even get inside the transmission or sealed? I'm curious how that.
I don't know. It was a
maybe
metal
it's in the
shaving.
linkage. Maybe it was in the linkage.
It might have been the linkage.
Yeah.
And it was something that they would not have been able to fix unless they went to the garage.
Yeah, unless it's like something that like hit up underneath the car and just slammed the bottom of the gearbox, and the gearbox kind of like caved in or something like that, and obviously can't move the shifter if it caves in just right. But yeah, that's gosh.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but being stuck in fourth gear, so he's not shifting, obviously leaving pit road and on the restarts, plus the fact that he came down an extra time, could all of that have helped him with the fuel saving on his final run?
Yeah.
Because the lower gears burn more fuel, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt that the higher gear helped him out. And he had nothing to, he wasn't revving the engine. I mean, he did have to, he burned up the clutch. You know why he burned up the clutch? Because I don't know if any of y'all ever driven a standard. Y'all are a little bit young.
Hey,
that's like the
old man.
Hey, look, you want a car that's not going to get stolen? Buy a standard.
Go to Elko Speedway with my 2 free tickets. Yeah.
No, buy a standard because nobody, hardly any criminals today know how to drive a standard. So it's like the ultimate anti-theft device. But seriously, that takes some talent. Now, it's one thing to do it in second gear. I used to have a Nissan 240 SX, and I can do it in second gear. And I can shift through all the gears without hitting the clutch. But to start off in fourth gear, wow, that's pretty stout.
Well, especially at a track like Pocono. I mean,
well, and
like you really have to shift that.
And on top of all of that, you're like the fourth gear with these guys are not our fourth gears. Like with my Camaro, like my fourth gear will take me 150-ish roughly. Like, yeah, it's not going to take me 190, 200, 210 miles an hour. So yeah, starting in those gears is not fun.
And something else I do want to say, Kyle Busch put out a video on Twitter yesterday. I don't know if any of you saw it, but it was a mashup of Cole Trickle, Days of Thunder, trying to get off of pit road without the gear, and what happened at Pocono on Sunday. And I have to say, it's the best Days of Thunder mashup I've seen in a long time.
I'll have to go watch it.
Yeah,
so what's the picks for this week? Do you have anything from Sarah and Summer and Matt?
I do not as of yet. So the person who would be picking first is Christian.
I do have picks from Rachel, so I don't know who goes first.
It's Christian, Zach, Rachel then.
Okay.
2018, I believe it was, Xfinity Series winner at Road America, Michael McDowell is who I'm picking this weekend.
Okay.
Is that the only race up there? Is Cup this weekend?
It's Cup and Xfinity.
I was going to say Xfinity. Yeah, Xfinity. I thought Xfinity was running. So
Trans Am's racing too, because I know a bunch of Cup drivers are racing the Trans Am series.
Yeah, I know Ty Gibbs is, I believe. I want to say Cody Ware is.
I know Kevin Harvick's racing the Xfinity race for BJ.
And then on the other side too, Ryan Eversleaf from the PWC, the Pirelli World Championship. He won the 2018 championship. He's making his Cup debut with Rick Ware.
Awesome. Okay, so who's your Xfinity pick?
I really think we have to go with Ty Gibbs. He won at Mid Ohio with the ARCA race. So
Ty Gibbs
I think I'm going to go with Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs off the table. Michael McDowell off the table. You got that, Seth?
Yep.
Zach, you're up.
Xfinity, I'm going to go with Austin Cindric. He did me well last week, and we all know he's a great road course racer. And then finally, I can pick Kyle Larson. I haven't been able to pick him. So, yeah, we knew what he did at Sonoma this year. He almost won a COTA if that went the distance. So he said after Saturday he's going to start another streak. So he finished second on Sunday. So if he's continuing a top two streak again, I feel like he's a good pick.
And now would be Rachel's pick.
All right. Well, she had Austin Cindric for Xfinity. So, I guess since we're not counting Xfinity points right now, I guess that doesn't really matter. But that's who she has. And then she's going to go with Chase Elliott for the Cup race.
I was wondering if anyone was going to pick him before it got to me. I am the next person to pick. And for Xfinity, I'm actually going to go with an upset pick. Well, it would be an upset because of the team he's driving for. But Kaz Gralla in the Jordan Anderson 31. Gralla has a lot of experience on road courses. Granted, it is still Jordan Anderson's small operation, but if they're going to win anywhere, it's either going to be a super speedway or a road course. So this might be their best chance. For Cup, however, I think I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger.
Wow. I'll leave you open, Justin. What do you got?
Yeah, that's a good pick. Dang. Well, for Xfinity, I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna go with the road course ringer. I'm gonna go with Borsted. He's entering this weekend at Road America for the Xfinity Series, so really cool to see him out there as always. And then for Cup Series, I'm gonna go with Joey Logano at Road America. He just does good at all these new tracks we haven't raced at. So, I mean, he's kind of the safe pick right now.
Well, I am going to go. Y'all said Kevin Harvick is in the Xfinity race, right?
Yes.
That's who I'm picking. And then I am going to pick Mr. Denny Hamlin for the win in the Cup Series race. So there you have it.
He's finally going to get that monkey off his back, eh?
Hey, you know what? We've seen him race really strong at road courses. Remember, a few years ago, he let Tony win at Sonoma. Trust me, he didn't let anybody win. Tony took that race, but it was an epic battle going to the checker flag. That was definitely fun. So those are the picks. We'll have to wait and see if Sarah and Matt send anything in and go from there. Rumors in the garage. Wow. Let's see. I'm not going to say names because I don't want it out there, but I hear a major team and a major driver and their spotter will be splitting at the end of the year. There's rumors that one major team, not Chip Ganassi, there's rumors that one major team may be shutting down and selling assets. And who's going to drive at Roush when Keselowski buys in? So I can tell you that it sounds like if Tyler Reddick doesn't get re-signed, or well, he's got some time on his contract, but if they don't re-sign his primary sponsor, my understanding is he can leave, and if he leaves, he's a top candidate to go to the Roush Racing with, or Brad Keselowski, Roush Yates, whatever it's going to be called, Fenway, over there. So Tyler Reddick in the mix from what I'm hearing about a possible driver over there with when Brad Keselowski obviously is leaving Penske Racing at the end of the year. So that's the news I have. I also heard a couple of other things, but I'm not ready to kind of flesh those out yet. But the part about one of the major top tier teams considering shaking things up and maybe either shutting down or selling off a couple of their teams and downsizing, that would be there's a lot of talk about what's going on with that. So we'll see what happens. It's already been a big news week in the world of NASCAR with Trackhouse.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see Brad do that. It's fun to watch him with his truck team. I think he's going to be a fantastic owner and owner-driver too, right? So I think he's going to be really cool to see that. We saw that with Tony Stewart when he started up Stewart Haas Racing, and look, he went out and won a championship, put on an awesome show to end his career in NASCAR at least, and now he's racing with the SRX stuff. But Brad Keselowski, yeah, that's going to be so cool to watch. I would love to see someone like a Tyler Reddick go with him. I don't mean this in an absolutely rude way at all, but I would love to see Ryan Newman retire and go into like some senior position to be Keselowski's right-hand man. Because I think if you put those two together to operate a whole team together, Roush is give them 3 years. Give them 3 years.
Well,
they're going to be a powerhouse.
Roush has a problem because it's a systemic problem within. They need to clean some house over there and make some major changes. And hopefully this deal with Brad will happen. I did hear one other thing. Apparently NASCAR was testing the next gen car at Charlotte. They want to crash it into a wall at Talladega. Well, you can't crash the car into a wall at 200 miles an hour with a driver in it, right? That would probably be unsafe. I mean, would you guys sign up for that job?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get everyone to say yeah.
Elko tickets.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say
We'll give you 2 Elko tickets if you crash this car into the wall.
I know there were some drivers back in the day that went crash tested on purpose, but I also know they were testing. I also know they were testing at Dover with the 2 different aero configurations as well.
Well, they tested to try and get up to speed with remote controls at Charlotte, and apparently they were doing figure 8s and burnouts because they could never get it up to speed. And my sources say that it was quite comedic. But I'm curious, you know, rumor has it they've already crashed one of the cars and it didn't do so well. Maybe it was simulation, but it didn't do so well in the submarine. It was like diving down. And the drivers that I talked to said they think the chassis is too brittle. It's too stiff. So the NASCAR, I think, is, from what I'm being told, is looking into those concerns. But I want to see what they do with the car when they crash it into a wall at 200-something miles an hour at Talladega. But I'm really curious about this whole remote control setup. So if I'm a drone pilot, maybe they'll just let me go drive it. I mean, I can fly a drone, and you know, it can't be that much harder.
And you just go crash. Then you just go crash the car at Talladega and make it spin backwards, and you can make that fly too.
That's right. Hey, I've got a Simpson. You know, I've crashed a car at Talladega. It's just I did it here with my sim.
Can we put Elko ticket giveaway on that car?
No, I don't think NASCAR's gonna. No.
Well, the thing is that test is also scheduled for after Elko.
Yeah, that's right. It's after Elko.
One of our other giveaways.
So if we don't give away the tickets, then we can
send them back to Elko. So, look, if you guys are watching the show, get with Christian Coley, because he really wants to give away these Elko tickets, and he really wants you to show up at the track, because we appreciate everything that those guys over in the ARCA series and the track series doing with that. So, that's going to do it here for us on the Kicking Show. I'm going to sign off, and I'm sure for me, I'm going to like go in the other room and like chill out. It's a long 4th of July weekend, and I'm not going to the racetrack. I don't know what y'all are doing, but I'm going to relax this weekend.